Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news and analysis. What is up? What is up? Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share so other people can spam that like button. I don't know if I can see you guys' comments on TikTok or not. It doesn't look like I can. That sucks. Hey, what's up? Hold on, let me see if I can get this. Yee. I'm Ski's agent. Sup, Ski? What is up? Filtering maybe. Nope. Okay. That's fine. I'll just do it like this. I'll just keep this up here. No worries. All right. It's your boy Ski. What's up, guys? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys are spamming the like button, hitting the share so other people can spam that like button and hit the share. Like the setup. Thanks. It's just the on the go setup. It's just the nothing special about it setup, to be honest. Says, yo, hey Ski, do you believe AMP will retrace to its previous all-time high? We'll take a look at that. Ski is saying it's going to be a hot boy summer for crypto. You already know, bro. It's a hot boy summer, in my opinion. There he is. What is up? 6 out of 10. All right, as of the time I recorded, you are popped for the post. You're prepared for the post-apocalypse. Literally, bro. Literally, I'm ready. Got to stay prepared. Ethereum teaching us to locking pronoun. All right, let's get into it. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin sitting at $109,232 and still, in my opinion, is just kind of honoring this uptrend here. When we zoom in a little bit and take a look at what's under the hood, I would argue it's just doing another little like breakout chop that it's been doing, like sort of a staircase, especially when we look on the 5 hour. That's what it looks like to me. You know, this is what Bitcoin's been doing. You just had these levels of just chop, break of a downtrend right here. We can see it. And then chopping, breaking higher. And that's pretty much it. It's just been doing the same thing again and again and again. Again and again and again. And then that's what I would argue that we're doing again. So it's just kind of staircasing its way along, which is a very, that's a healthy thing to do. And I'm grateful that that's how we're doing things. Because, you know, the alternative is not, it's fun. I mean, it's fun. It's more fun for a little bit, and then it's way less fun. So in my opinion, this is what we're doing. We're just breaking up higher, chopping for a little bit, breaking up higher, chopping for a little bit. I don't really think that the play is going to be Bitcoin from here. You know, like I think we go to 118 for sure. There's a high probability that we go to 138, and there's a decent chance that we go to 207. But realistically, that's like not even a full 1x from here. In my opinion, like it's time. Ethereum sitting at 2,600 is very much flirting with the top of this range. In my opinion, Ethereum is like 2 or 3 little beats behind Bitcoin. So if we can break from the top of this range, that would be very, very good. We've already put in a couple of higher lows here. So that's what it looks like to me. Top value plays at the time of recording: Solnic, H&T, Rose, ICP, Shiba, Dent, VeChain, Naka, IOTA, Flux, Theta, Krill, Suki, Raven, Dynex, Dot, Sauce, Hee, Crow, Phantom, News, One, XYO, ADA, Link, XNO, and Fat Cat. Let's steal the police card at 22207. Ethereum teaching us, the only person worth watching on YouTube along with Alex. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. Leroy Jenkins, 7.5 out of 10 today. Ski, how are you doing? Appreciate the live stream. I'm doing freaking-tastic, bro. Every day is a great day. You know, it's hard to have a bad day when you're sitting on the right side of the dirt. So I woke up highly blessed, highly favored, sitting here on the correct side of the dirt, and for that I am extremely grateful. Who's at the Bitcoin conference? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you're chilling. Whoops. Let me know in the comments if you are chilling at the Bitcoin conference right now. If you've attended the Bitcoin conference, let me know. Give me a. Let me know. Say Bitcoin conference if you are chilling in the Bitcoin conference. I don't know who all is there. All right, let's see what I missed here on TikTok. Testing test. Yeah, so this is a new live stream. Normally I go live on TikTok as well. Maybe I could pull up the that's something for a different day. But this is the first time I've ever streamed this way. Normally I use TikTok's app, but they finally approved my stream key to where I can just stream off of one thing. So that's what we're doing. I got to figure out how to get the chat on here. But you know, one thing at a time. We're always trying to make things a little bit better and a little bit better again. The Bitcoin conference is full of fake influencers who cannot chart. Listen, I don't think that there's that many people. I'm not trying to be funny here. I don't think that there's that many people who can actually effectively chart and navigate the market. I'm not trying to be funny. I think that there is a very small percentage of people who can actually effectively chart and navigate the market, not relying on news narratives or not relying on, you know, whatever else other than charts. Says, bro, I forgot my keychains. Dang, John. Great motto to live by. Yeah, appreciate that. Question, please. A short you did last year, ICP to 352, but has no inflation. Seems bonkers. Yeah, I've updated that for sure. My updated target on ICP is $38. Is my bear case. I think that that's very plausible. That's pretty much the retracement point. My medium case for ICP is going to be $100, and I think that that's, like, you know, plausible. And then if it wants to go crazy parabolic, we're looking at 140, which that's a lot of gains to be had. Even to $38, I think is plenty of gains to be had, in my opinion. So yeah, that's not up to date. Thanks for bringing that up. Is there? He might be pretty epic. Let's see here. Seems loads of flaky content creators gone to the Bitcoin Vegas. Yeah, I try to be consistent, stoic. I try to do all those things. Hope you enjoyed the long weekend ski. It was not a long weekend for me, but I enjoyed it all the same. All just posting videos to look important to their dedicated followers. Are we having an alt season now? I think so. Like, let's look at Bitcoin Dominance. It's at 63.8%. This looks pretty good to me. Like, we haven't quite gotten a little micro low yet here, but we're very close. So this looks like this looks like the UTAD to me. So Bitcoin Dominance is... All right, let's back up a little bit. What is the things? We have stipulation to get alt season. You need sugar, you need spice, you need everything nice. What is sugar? What is spice? What is everything nice? Okay, so sugar is Bitcoin making an all-time high. Check. We got that. Check. Check. Okay, what is spice? So Bitcoin making an all-time high. That is sugar. What is spice? Spice is Bitcoin Dominance, rolling over, going into distribution. In my opinion, the ingredients are there. In my opinion, that is what we are working on. We are working on Wyckoff distribution. Buying climax. Up thrust goes higher than the buying climax. UTAD goes higher than the buying climax. You have your first big plunge. You retrace to about the 618702, and then you start to roll over. And that's what we're seeing. Like, it's definitely resistance right now for Bitcoin dominance. It is definitely having a hard time getting through that. So, in my opinion, this is what we've already gotten. Buying climax, up thrust goes higher, UTAD goes higher. We've already gotten all of that. We had our first little plunge, and then we had a retrace. And we're just like starting to roll back again. We're somewhere in this neck of the woods, in my opinion, for Bitcoin dominance. So that's sugar, that's spice. What is everything nice? They got to be happening at the same time. I would argue they are happening at the same time. Retail does not believe it. You look at Google Trends on crypto. You look at Google Trends on Bitcoin. Coinbase app ranking is in the 300s. Robinhood app ranking is in the 200s. Retail is not in this game. That's a great sign. That's great news. Okay, that is fantastic news. So listen, micro confirmation of this to continue to play out is taking this out. I can't even see. That's about 63.55%. Let's get a body close below that. That would be micro confirmation. And then a bigger like picture confirmation is getting to about 62% would say, yep, that was a lower low. Bitcoin dominance has clearly, concisely reversed trend. And so that is sugar, spice, everything nice. That is what we're waiting for to get a real deal all season, so to speak. So there you go. Let's go. Soon we're going to see 2 skis. That's right. Shout out to my brother, Peanut Ski. Bitcoin dominance is going down. Yes, 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 it is. 99.9% of influencers aren't content creators. They are pyramid scheme shillers. Thanks for being a legit man. I appreciate you, bro. I would say that they're content creators, right? They're not. I agree with what you're saying. Like, there's a lot of like bad media, so to speak. Most of them are they're creators. They're content creators, and they try to make whatever videos will make the most amount of views. And in reality, what are the videos that make the most amount of views? The videos that are going to be the most amount of views is going to be confirmation bias. So if you sell at the bottom and I make a video saying, guess what, we're going lower, you're going to get another chance. Don't worry. Sell now and buy back. That's going to be confirmation bias. That's going to get higher views, but it's going to be incorrect. And the opposite is true. Like, you're going to want confirmation bias at the top. When it's at the top, you're going to want someone to say, hey, you bought now before you should have bought, but don't worry, we're still going to 5-10x from here. That's confirmation bias. Those videos are going to get the highest amount of views, but they're not going to be correct. I don't do that. I'm not a content creator like that. I don't worry about, having the most views possible. I worry about trying to add as much value to you guys as I possibly can. And my methodology is over the long enough course of time, that's going to work out better for you and for me. So we'll see, 20 years, how that plays out, I guess, because that's my time horizon. If Bitcoin corrects to 102, aren't alts going to follow? That's plausible, but listen, where Bitcoin dominance is, I think that there's a reasonable plausibility. Like, are they going to correct? Sure. I think that we are definitely entering into the phase, if not now, very, very soon, of like Bitcoin pumps. The altcoins are going to pump exponentially higher, which it pretty much already does that. But also the pullbacks for a period, for a season, not for a long period, not for a long season, but for a season. What we're going to see is the altcoins pull back less for a short season, and that's going to be setting up for the real deal thing. Is VRA dead? I'm not a huge fan of VRA. There's too much inflation for me. Sup, Ski? Hey, bro, you think SETUS will recover? How high you see it going to with the SUI helping them? I don't think it's a great, man. Let me see the charts. I haven't looked at the charts not one time. it's definitely not a great thing that the SUI Cetus hack. What is it? CET. Yeah, I don't think it's a great thing for sure. Will it recover? Like, we've definitely seen other stuff. Man, oh man. Will it recover? Okay. Hold up. Let me give you my real thoughts on this. Okay, actually, you know what? It's still clearly in a downtrend. Clearly, right? It hasn't broken this downtrend micro. However, I think there's reason to believe that this bottom over here is going to be support. I don't hold any of this, and I'm not really that interested in the ecosystem of SUI personally. I like Solana better. You know, that's just my bias, right? But if I'm giving you a little bit of hopium and doing some macro analysis here, we can clearly see that this is accumulation, your markup, your distribution, your markdown, reaccumulation, big markup, which if I pull a Fibonacci from the top to the bottom, we can see this went pretty much nailed the 2618. Again, that's what I consider parabolic. So again, distribution, markdown, reaccumulation, I would consider this to be the sign of strength, and then the back test of the prior range. It's kind of peculiar, the events that are taking place. Now, one thing to factor, I do not know the inflation at this at all, but just chart-wise, I'm going to say I don't mind this, and I think that there's a decent plausibility of recovery on Cetus. Let me see, what is the inflation on this? I literally do not know. Let me see here. Come on. Cetus has an update on their page about the situation if people want to the new info. Oh, there you go. CETUS. I don't mind. Listen, I'm not a holder. Not a lot of FDV 160 market cap. Decent, a little bit of inflation to me within the margin though. Within the margin. So yeah, I think it can recover. There you go. There's my long answer for you. I don't mind this chart here. I want to see it start to find this as support right in here. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see about 11 cents become support, start to reaccumulate, and make another leg higher, at least to the 33 cent mark. That would be a retracement. I think that that's super plausible. It went to the 2618 last time, so I would definitely honor the 1618 and the 2618 as a place of, you know, that's where I would be wanting to exit. That's 74 cents and $1.36. So yeah, nothing on this chart was broken. You know what I mean? Like nothing was broken. So can it recover? I think that that's plausible. I think that that's plausible. So yeah, I wasn't a part of this. I didn't have any of it. Didn't hold any of it. I've been saying for a while that I wasn't a fan of SUI. I thought there was too much inflation. But so there you go. But yeah, this chart, nothing is broken about this chart. Is it too late to get into VET? I don't think so. XCN, I like XCN. I'm in a long on XCN right now. I think reasonably we get to 6 to 8 cents for that. Views on ICP, bro. I like ICP. I think ICP minimum gets to $38. VRA is awful. Yeah. If something is free, you're the product. Crypto loves playing games. Yeah, that's it. The game is emotional warfare. You figure out that game, and you can be very successful in this game. That is the game. The game is emotional warfare. Figure that game out, and you can do a lot of damage. If a super cycle, some life-changing money to be made. I think so. Ski, take a look at CFG in that chart. All right, I'll take a look at it. Let's look at ZBCN real quick. I know that this is in price discovery. My first target has already been hit. My first target was half of a penny. What is this down? 20% today? So yeah, this already cleanly hit my first target, half of a penny. We'll see. Like, it's in a full-on breakout. This is in the markup phase. Lots of strength. This is pretty hot on the daily, actually. So, I don't know. A back test would be very plausible, back to a third of a penny. It's pretty hot on the RSI. We could certainly keep being hot, and that's fine. My macro targets are eighth of a penny and a penny. But I wouldn't buy this. I think that most of the gains have already been made. In fact, we can clearly see it gave you a year to get this price right here. And from the bottom was up a 6x. So, yeah, like most of the gains are already had. If you're not well positioned in this, I would not add a position here. I don't like adding a position at a breakout. That's not a good thing to do. That's called FOMOing. And I don't recommend it. I think that you're going to get wrecked 9 times out of 10 when you do that. Can this go to a penny? I think certainly. But that's a 1x. Like Bitcoin's going to do that. Bitcoin's going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like Bitcoin will do that. What up, Skeeter? We holding to the moon. That's right. Top 5 next bear market coins. Let me get Solnic, Bitcoin, HBAR, XRP, Solana. I'm liking the way Bitcoin is being 107, 110 sideways boring. I agree, Eli. I'm right there with you. To me, it's just staircasing its way higher, which is a very healthy thing to do. I would take that every single day rather than just exploding up to the next range, because when you explode up to the next range, guess what? You come back down with the same veracity. So if we can staircase our way up, that's definitely going to be better. Thank you, sir. XEN predictions 6 to 8 cents. Bitcoin to 150 by the end of the year. I think that's super probable. Hello, bro. Could you take a look at ILV and or Gala, please? I'm not a fan of either one of those. Those, to me, have the same issue. Highly inflationary coins. I don't have interest in inflationary coins. Price equals, what does price equal, ladies and gentlemen? Does it equal if you do X, Y, and Z? Does it equal if you cure cancer? Does it equal if you're the leading AI agent? Does it equal if you're the leading DeSci? Does it equal if you're the leading DApp? No, it doesn't. Price equals supply plus demand. That's it. I wish it was not that simple. You wouldn't need me. You don't need me. You don't need me. So if they're dumping supply on your head, guess what? That's not a good thing. Both Gala and ILV are both doing that. So like I made a video. One of my most popular videos on YouTube is my Gala prediction. And when I made that video, Gala's total supply was 7 billion. It's gotten worse since the last time I've talked about this. Wow, that's insane. So when I made that video, Gala's circulating supply was 7 billion. That was 2 years ago. It is now 44 billion. They have 7x the supply. What does that mean? That means you got to take a 7x off the table, period. Period. Like, whatever gains you were going to get, you have to subtract 7x from that. And to me, like, man, like, a lot of people are happy with the 7x. You know what I mean? Like, you got to take a 7x off the table. So you needed to do a 14x just to get a 7x. You needed to do a 10x just to get a 3x. You needed to do a 20x just to get a 13x. No, thank you. No, thank you. Is 1x the same as 100% gain? Yes, that is correct. I do this incorrectly. I do the 1x correctly. I'll be honest, I do 2x incorrectly. 2x does not equal 200%. 2x is 2 doubles. So it would really mean 400%. I do 1x correctly. I always say 1x 100%. Because 1x equals 1 double. 2x equals 2 doubles. 3x equals 3 doubles. So 3x would be 800%. 4x would be 1600%, right? I don't do it that way. I do 1x equals 100%. 2x equals 200%. That's not correct, though. The correct thing is 1x equals 100%, 2x equals 400%, and so on. Wrong. Wrong. Thoughts on Boom? I don't have any thoughts. XTC, I like XTC. I think XTC has a reasonable chance to get to 20 to 40 cents. True. I have the same targets of XTC as I do with VeChain. 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. Low, medium, high. CFG, please and thank you. Because they're the magic numbers. Not enough data on this one. Let me see if I can find a better one. Maybe it's the spring. Maybe it's the spring. That would be best case scenario. Retracement would be 150. I think that's plausible. 360 for Scarabolic. Check out Lofi. Legend. What's up, fam? All right, Lofi. I think Lofi's bottomed. Retracement is 13 cents. That's a 2x. 200%. Parabolic is a 7x. 700%. 43 cents. Pinlink price target. Pinlink to me is bottomed. I do not mind the chart on Pinlink at all. I think it is doing proper Wyckoff accumulation. This is deep in accumulation. I think it is clearly bottomed. What we need to see is it take out this target right in here. Retracement, $2.50. That's a 2.2x. Price discovery is an 8x of $7. What do you like that is not pumped yet? All my value plays. Solnic is my top 100x play from here. Period. Not particularly close. I like VeChain. I like Naka. I like IOTA. I like Flux. I like Theta. I like Krill, Suki, Raven, Dynex, Dot, Rose, Shiba, Dent, VeChain, Flux, LCX, Sauce, Hee. Those are all my value plays. I think that they are all extreme values. A good Wyckoff, gotta love it. You already know, bro. R-Weave, I like R-Weave too. I'd probably add that in there. I'm in a long on R-Weave that's just crushing. I'm up 300%. Is your background a screen? No, it is not. This is just, I'm outside. I'm in the wild. I'm in the wild, bro. It's a little mosquito net. I am live from the wild. Do you think camping steak is broken? No. No, I don't think so. So I'm live stream from I got this T-Mobile 5G hotspot. I made a video about this. I got the T-Mobile 5G hotspot. I got my camera, my laptop, my microphone, and it's all operating off of the EcoFlow battery bank, which is solar powered. It's a pretty cool thing. Price target for our weave. All right, let's check out our weave. What is the ticker? Are we? Yeah, this is bottom to me. Wow, it's crazy that I'm up 300% on this trade. I must have literally gotten the bottom. But yeah, this is bottom to me, and this chart is insane. I think it's already retraced. It already full on retraced. You had your markdown, accumulation. You had a retracement, distribution, markdown again. And now it's back in reaccumulation, and it's already starting the next trend. If we were to do a micro pull, and I can't see this. Retracement is $30, and that's, you know, that's a lot of gains just to be had just on a micro Fibonacci pull. That's a 4x. I'm here for it. Parabolic is going to be 18x. Again, that's confluence with the macro. So that to me is, I'm going to be exiting like that. I'm not going to be playing any games. That's a 130 to 145. That's, if we get there, awesome. But I think reasonably just getting a micro retracement is going to be more than enough. The macro retracement's about 63. What's parabolic? Are you asking me like, no, I don't think, I think if you're buying spot, I think this is an excellent value. I don't know if this is on my top values, but I'm going to add it. Vacation ski is the best evolution of ski. And I'm still grinding, still making videos. I think I uploaded 4 videos today. I have a couple that I've already recorded. I just haven't uploaded them yet. A wild ski has appeared. No one talks about Shiba. I think Shiba reasonably will do a 5x from here. Can you look at ZBEC? We already looked at ZBEC. ZBEC is in full-on price discovery. If you've made your position on ZBEC, I would recommend taking a little bit of profit. If you have 0 position on ZBEC, I wouldn't recommend adding to it because it's already hit my macro targets. It gave you a year to catch that 7x. It gave you a year at that price to catch that 7x. It's already done a 7x. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I'm not going to recommend people FOMO into a project. My first target, my macro target, was already half of a penny. We already hit that. That was my target when we were sitting at, what were we sitting at? I don't know. Like we sat at this price, this average price of, 0.0009 for like a literal year before it went into price discovery. And I said half of a penny was my first target. We already hit that. And we got rejected pretty hard off of it, it looks like, on the shorter time frame. I think it can reasonably get to a penny, but like that's a 1x. Bitcoin's going to do that. I'm not interested in a 1x. The ZBAC has already done the majority of the move. Can it do another 1x? Sure. 100% sure. To me, it's already vertical, which I don't recommend buying those projects. I recommend accumulating when it's accumulation, when it's boring, when it gives you an entire year of this price. It gave you an entire year, not even the bottom, just your average DCA price. It gave you an entire year to catch a 4.3x if you're a bad investor. I don't recommend like buying that now. If you've already made a position, great. Take profit, let it ride. If you've not made a position, I think reasonably it has another 1x in it. I wouldn't recommend adding a position to this here, though, for sure. Wait for a pullback. You think Moonwell can 10x? Render, I think Render gets to $20. ICP ecosystem. This is ICP ecosystem. How do we find a 10x? Here you go. I'm going to tell you the answer. Wyckoff. This is Wyckoff. This is textbook Wyckoff, right? My top value lists, they're all in Wyckoff, in accumulation. I want to buy things that are in accumulation, right? So let me show you, let me give you the full answer to the test. All right, turn your text to page 71, all right? Follow along. This is going on the exam. This will go on your final report card. Check it out. The markets. This is 100 years old. This is 100 years old, and it still works to this day. Shout out to Richard D. Wyckoff, the GOAT of trading. This is what markets do. Again and again and again and again and again. Once more. Again, 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 and again. Again and again and again. What do? They go... The market is all about supply and demand. The market is all about finding balance and finding imbalances and filling those gaps of imbalances. That's what Wyckoff is, okay? That's all Wyckoff is finding balances. It's about finding imbalances in the market and balancing itself out. So what does it do? It goes into accumulation, which is the bottom, and then you go into the markup, which is what ZBAC is doing currently. ZBAC is here. ZBAC is breaking out into the markup. And then you go into distribution, which is the top. And then you go back into a markdown, which is the bear market. And then it loops right back into accumulation. And it just does that again and again and again. So here's the macro brass tacks. My God, I'm just beating the F out of my mic. Here's what you want to do. You want to buy things that are in accumulation. Not everything that's in accumulation is going to do a 10x, but a lot of it will. It'll do a 2x, a 3x, a 5x. Some of it will do a 20x. Some of it will do a 10x. But ideally, you want to be buying stuff that's in accumulation. You want to be selling stuff as it marks up and it goes into distribution. You want to be reaccumulating in accumulation. So what does accumulation look like? Let me show you. You have a period of a bear market, violent crash. You have a selling climax. Normally the selling climax, how does it feel? It normally is something very scary. It's like the pit of despair. It's FTX going to zero. It's Luna going to zero. It is the worst of the worst. It's the tariffs. It's the terrible thing that is like the pit of despair. In the movie, it's like Jonah is swallowed by the whale. It cannot get any worse. Okay? You're selling climax. It's not generally a good idea to buy there because what you'll have is you'll have a downtrend, and the rules of Wyckoff state, when the downtrend is broken, it's safe to accumulate. Typically, your secondary test goes lower than the selling climax, and your spring, guess what? That goes lower too. Traders will think, see, it's in a downtrend, we're cooked. That's as low as we're going to go. The C19 crash was the spring. FTX crash was the spring. The tariff April 7th was the spring. Okay? You want to be buying stuff in here. Once it breaks this downtrend, you don't need to get the absolute bottom. Just accumulate all this, right? ZBAC gave you a year of doing this. Guess what? The spring went lower, right? That's what it is. That's textbook accumulation. Textbook from the actual literal text. So that's the idea, okay? And then on top of that, you need to see, like, hey, does this have a lot of inflation? Are they dumping supply on my head? If they're dumping supply on my head, it's not going to work. Price equals what? Supply plus demand. Buy stuff in accumulation with low to no inflation. Are we still in accumulation now? On what? Most of the market, yes. Most of the altcoins, yes. Bitcoin, no. Bitcoin is the start of the Mark E, in my opinion. Let me go to Bitcoin and show you what accumulation looks like. We could show you. All right, I just keep moving my... I need to figure out how to get this. So that's, listen, video evidence, documented. I was very convinced April 7th, and I had video evidence. I said, guess what? Bottoms in, boys. Literally, that's the hook of the video. You can go back. I'll repost it. April 7th, 2025, I said, the bottom's in, boys. Literally, that was the hook. The bottom's in April 7th, 2025. Why was I so convinced that the bottom was in? Because of Wyckoff accumulation. This is what it looks like. Okay? Bitcoin had a period of a downtrend. This is called your markdown. Then we had our selling climax. Our selling climax was February 28th. You had an automatic reaction. Guess what this was? This was the Trump, like, adding Solana, ADA, all that stuff to the ETFs. That's what that was right there. Automatic reaction. Then you have a secondary test in phase B. The secondary test does what? Goes lower than the selling climax. That is literally textbook from the text. Literally how it goes. Literally from the text. That is how it goes. All right. And then we get your move to the upside. You get a move to the upside. As you can see, you creak down. You get a big violent spring, which goes lower than even the secondary test in phase B. This was the tariffs. That's what this was. The tariffs actually going into effect. You have a move, and then you have a test. The test goes to the same spot as the secondary test in phase B. That's what we got right here. Test was to the secondary test in phase B. And then, guess what? The spring is it. You go from a downtrend, and now you're in an uptrend. That's what we're in. You get your LPS, you get your sign of strength. I made the video April 7th. I said the sign of strength will take us to 95K to 100K. That's where the sign of strength went to. It went literally to 95K. I think we got to 97K. And we chopped here for a little bit. Guess what that is textbook of? That's textbook Wyckoff. You chop at the sign of strength. And then you start the phase E. We're already in the markup for Bitcoin. That's why I don't think Bitcoin's the play. I think Bitcoin does another 1x from here. Great. Bitcoin does another 1x from here. Awesome. It's in the markup though. This is clearly an uptrend. We have clearly broken. We've clearly had accumulation. This is the markup. You have no signs of distribution at this time. In my opinion, at a minimum, Bitcoin gets to 138. In all probability, 207. But where the altcoins are at, they're doing the same thing, but they're a little bit behind. Let's just click on others. All right. All right. What do we have? God dog it. Let's go on the daily. All right. What do we have? This is super macro. You have a markup, you have distribution, you have your markdown, you have your accumulation, all the same things. Then you have a markup. This was a retracement, distribution, markdown, reaccumulation. Same things are all there. It's just a little bit behind Bitcoin. Where you had your selling climax, you have your secondary test in phase B, which goes lower. Then the selling climax, you have your spring, which goes lower. Then you start an uptrend. In my opinion, this is near the sign of strength. That's where we are. We're going to chop a little bit, which we've been chopping. We're going to chop a little bit for the others chart, which is what I'm looking at, which is everything that's not the top 10. And then you're going to start your mark E, which will take us to minimum of the 1618. Which will be about $600 billion market cap. Okay, that's where we're at. Most of the market looks exactly like that. ADA looks like that. ADA's in accumulation. VeChain's in accumulation. XYO's in accumulation. Ethereum's in accumulation. All this stuff. Ethereum's gotten its sign of strength. It's chopping at the sign of strength just like Bitcoin did before it broke higher. Ethereum is flirting with breaking higher. Okay, all the same. Let's find a coin about the spring. I think Flux has just gotten its spring. The spring is scary. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, when you log like emotional psychology with Wyckoff, the spring is the scariest moment imaginable. Bitcoin had 2 springs. Well, it had 3 springs. So here's the last 3 springs for Bitcoin. It was the tariffs. That was a spring. Guess what? That was gloom and doom. Gloom and doom. Japan rate cut debacle. That was like economic recession. We're going to 30K. That was the spring. The other spring that Bitcoin had was FTX going to 0. Literally, the scariest moment in crypto was the spring. That's how it goes. There was also another spring during the C19 crash. The whole world shut down. Like, it doesn't get any scarier than the spring. Ah. I didn't mean to do that. Oopsies. Dent on the spring. Alright. Ski, do you have targets for Matic? They're still the same. Richard Wyckoff. Richard D. Wyckoff. My targets for Matic are still the same. It's still 2, 4, 8. Or it might be 9. Hey, bro, can you please look at Energy Web chart, Wyckoff Spring targets? What's the ticker for that? Just buy Flux and go to sleep. Flux and Sonic. I like Quant a lot. Is Bitcoin going to 250K? You can talk me in. Dent, did miracles come true? You can talk me into 250K. You could talk me into that. That's not where I'm going to be waiting for, right? That's the most parabolic target possible. In all likelihood, that's going to be such a psychological level. If 250K is the number, the real number is 248, right? 245, maybe. For me, my targets are 118, 138, 207. 207, the difference between 207 and 250 is a little bit of liquidity. Can it go there? Sure. Reasonably? Sure. I'm not waiting for 250 to take action. I can assure you. Yes, 200K, correct, is a 1x from here. That's correct. Buy Flux. I like Flux here. Flux, to me, just got its spring. That is the closest to the spring as far as a chart goes. So to me, this is the spring. Macro. This is real macro. And I'm not used to charting off of this, but so here you go. You have all the same stuff. You have your preliminary support, your selling climax, your automatic reaction, your secondary test. That's all phase A. So there you go. Your preliminary support, your selling climax, automatic reaction, secondary test. That's phase A of accumulation. Phase A is when you start to break your downtrend, which if I were to line that up, I could show you, but that's basically where you break the downtrend. You get, in phase B, you get the secondary test in phase B, which goes lower. Then the selling climax, your move to the upside, your creek down, and your spring, which again goes lower than the secondary test in phase B. In my opinion, Flux is probably the closest to the spring. It's probably at the test right in here. If I were to map it for you, that's where it's at to me. And I think minimum retracement is $3.18. Parabolic is somewhere between $5 to $13. Shiba Inu. I think Shiba Inu is a good looking chart. I think you get 5x from here. Again, like, it's all Wyckoff, guys. Evening, Devin. Is your bro there helping you out yet? No, he's still hanging out with my sister. He's going to be coming back with me on the 1st, I think. So yeah, this is already accumulation, sign of strength, back test, reaccumulation. So the next thing would be the markup. I think it can reasonably do a 5x from here for Shiba. I mean, price discovery is a 10x, but even just retracement is a 4x. So 4 to 10x is my targets for Shiba. What's your Cash App tag? Message me directly. Oh, this is a scammer. My bad. I didn't mean to read that. Sasquatch vibes. Dogecoin target $1, $2. My bear case is $1.11. My bull case is $2.22 for Doge. This is a chill. I don't know. This is like way more chill, I guess. I don't know. I'm not minding this. I need to figure out how to get the I need to figure out how to get the TikTok chat on over here where I can just see all the chat together. That would be amazing, but we're still working on it. Do you think we rise tomorrow? I don't do tomorrow. Listen, I'm a macro analyst. I am slow moving. I am stoic. I am slow. I am not emotional. I am very practical. I am very, very slow moving. And how I analyze the market is months, not days. Okay? Years, not weeks. That is the type of analyst that I am. I am macro. Super macro. I can go micro on stuff, but not tomorrow. Micro to me is like the next few weeks. You know what I mean? The flux chart. Arbitrum. I think Arbitrum. Isn't there a decent bit of inflation on Arbitrum? Do you see a short-term dip to $6 for Uni? Let's see. This chart looks really good to me, by the way. To $6, $6 is possible. That would still be a higher low. Yeah. But I mean, like, man, this chart looks amazing. Just keeping it a buck. This chart looks amazing to me. Ski is slow, like slow. Do you think we have time to accumulate more during 2 to 3 months, or will it be too late? I think that the market's going to get moving very soon, and all it's going to take is Ethereum to make a yearly high to really kick things off with dominance, and it's flirting with it. Like, it could literally do it. I'm not trying to be like FOMO-y here. It could literally do it today. Like, I'm not saying it's going to, but all it's going to take, listen, hear me. Ethereum is in an uptrend. Retail has not come to terms with this. This was a downtrend. This was your accumulation. It is now in an uptrend. Retail has not come to terms with this, but that is the truth. All it's going to take here is taking out that high of 28.65. Guess what? It's starting the marquee. And what that's going to do for dominance is going to be astronomical. So, listen, I don't know is the answer. Or do we have 2 months to accumulate? I don't know that we do. But I know that the next phase is what everyone's been waiting for and what everyone's already burned out to, I would argue. What everyone is completely done with and just given up on. Retail is not in this game. That's the next phase. They got shooketh at the buzzer by the apex predator who does what they do. And they are, they're the GOAT. They trade against regular people. And that's what my job is to wake regular people up to how institutions really move the market. And guess what they use? They use fear and they use greed. Again and again and again. They go into Wyckoff accumulation, Wyckoff distribution. Again and again and again. Accumulation is fear. Distribution is greed. Accumulation sometimes shows up like greed too, because when Bitcoin was in accumulation, already gotten its spring at $16,000, people were saying, I'm waiting for $12,000 and then I'm going to buy. When Bitcoin pulled back to 20K on the test, people were saying, I'm waiting for 15K, then I'm going to buy. When Bitcoin pulled back to 74K, people were like, I'm waiting for 50K and then I'm going to buy. Sometimes accumulation also looks like greed or feels like greed, but generally it's fear. So that's what the apex predator does, and they do it again and again and again. Retail was really excited in December about altcoins. Now they're not, because they're exhausted, because that's what the apex predator does. It is emotional, psychological warfare. It's kind of like dating a stripper. That's what it's like. Okay? You're talking dirty, Ski. Keep it going. What the? Oh, God. Aave targets. I think Aave has one of the craziest charts. I'm in a long on Aave right now. I'm in a long on Aave right now. It's up 300% off 3x. Off 3x, bro. Matter of fact, let me show you. Off 3x, bro. 3x leverage. I am up 300% on Aave. I have already completely de-risked on that, and I am swinging for the fences. I am just going to let it ride to the micro retracements. Here we go. Let me show you. Here we go. This is a cool one. I like this one. Where's my Patrick? They took my Patrick away, man. Let me show you this. Y'all think I'm messing around. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm not just out here talking, bro. Y'all think I just speak Japanese. I don't. I don't just speak Japanese. Look, you see it. 325% off 3x leverage. You don't need crazy leverage to have crazy gains. All right? I have already completely de-risked from this, and I am letting it ride. I am cool where we are at. Okay? You do not need crazy leverage to get crazy gains. Verily, verily, I say to you. Sorry, very new. Do you think FOMC tomorrow will affect the market? Sure. There's going to be volatility. There you go. Watch. Be careful of doing high leverage. Thoughts on Injective? What are my thoughts on Injective? Okay, if I remember, there was a gap here that it filled out. That's true. Okay. So, we talked about this a lot back in... I was very bearish on Injective back in... even through July of 24, November. I was very bearish on Injective because it went through accumulation. It did all that. And then it did this markup phase. And there was a gap that was created where there was no trading. And I was like, listen, gaps tend to get filled sooner or later. And that's what it did. It came back to the gap. It filled out the gap. So in my opinion, the bottom is already in for this. It's already done the accumulation. It filled out the gap. I don't think that this is a bad spot here. What are we talking here? For retracement, from current price, you're looking at about a 1.25x, and parabolic is about a 7x from here. So pretty respectable, but I do think that the bottom is in, and I do like that it filled out that gap. I don't like it when coins just like skip a gap. It's not a good thing, because generally what happens is you come all the way back. Like, I'll give you an example of the most violent one that I can remember was Hex. Hex was the most violent gap that I can remember. And man, everyone wants a straight line up until you actually get it. So Hex launched in 2020 and just went straight up. No trading right in here. What is that? That is a gap. And it went up. And it went up. And it never back tested. And it never back tested. And it never back tested. It went all the way up. All the way up. This crazy run that Hex had. Never back testing it. Until, guess what? It did. So the sooner you can rip the Band-Aid off, the better. It never back tested it until it did. And there you go. That gap's been filled. So that's the most violent example that I can remember. But you see this time and time again. Near dead? I don't think so. I think near is just fine. Quant is on the move. Quant is doing quant things. Quant does not wait for the market. Quant just does its own thing. It will pull back whenever it likes. It will pump whenever it likes. And to me, this is maybe. We'll see. This is already a higher high. If we could take this out, 173, this is a clean breakout. So it's been on uptrend for a while. That's why Solnic is so healthy. Literally, there are no gaps. Everything, it gets back tested. We've been making higher lows the entire time. Solnic is my number one 100x play, period. VeChain, I like VeChain. 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents is my target. Somebody became a member, I think. Zaytoven, thank you for becoming a member, you savage. Bro, how's Solana? I don't mind Solana. My target for Solana is 426. 420 is my low target. 510 is my medium case. And 600 is my bull case. Where can you get Solnic in the US? You can get it on Phantom Wallet. Just download Phantom and you can buy it directly on there. Or you can buy Solana on Coinbase and send it to Phantom and swap it directly on there. Phantom is the easiest way. You can also get it on Solflare, SetoX. You can get it on Coinbase Wallet. You can get it on Crypto.com Wallet. But I think the easiest, honestly, is Phantom. Very soon, you're going to be able to get it on... very soon, you're going to be able to get it on Gmail. How about Ardrum? Ardrum is card-changing money. Right? If you invest $76 and you have an expectation that Ardrum is going to retire your lineage, you're going to be mistaken. You're going to be very disappointed. But if you invest maybe $7,000 in Ardrum and you think that you can upgrade your Toyota Camry to a Lexus, I think that that's reasonable. That's my thoughts on Ardrum. There is lots of inflation on Ardrum, so I don't have any, but I think that it has bottomed. What's next for Solnic? Solnic, in my opinion, has already had a clean breakout, and it's starting. It's at the very beginning of starting the markup. When alt season, can Solnic hit 10 cents by September? I think that that's possible. My target has been by the end of the year that we're going to hit 7.5 cents minimum, or I will shave my beard, which 10 cents is the real number. When alt season? Very, very soon. You need two things. You need two things to be true at the same time for alt season. You need sugar, you need spice, you need everything nice. Okay? What is sugar? Sugar is Bitcoin making an all-time high. That is the sugar. Check. That happened. That happened 3 days ago, and I would argue it's probably going to happen again this week. We're probably going to make a new all-time high. So that's check number one. Okay, so we have the sugar. What is the spice? The spice is Bitcoin dominance must be working on distribution. In my opinion, check. We've been on a straight line for the last 2 years. We've gotten our buying climax. Let me get this right for y'all. We've gotten our buying climax, our automatic reaction, our secondary test. That is phase A of Wyckoff. Whoopsies. That is phase A of Wyckoff. Let's go distribution, which is a topping signal. Buying climax, automatic reaction, secondary test. That's all phase A then you have the up thrust goes higher than the buying climax in phase B. We got that too. Then you have the UTAD goes higher than the up thrust. We got that as well. You have your first big plunge, a retrace to the 618. Right here, your first big plunge, a retracement, and then you start to roll back over. In my opinion, we're like right here. So the next thing is getting our LPS. That means Ethereum going to like 3,300. That's going to start alt season because that will start a clean, confirmed reversal on Bitcoin dominance. That's what we need. You need Bitcoin to be making an all-time high, Bitcoin dominance to be falling simultaneously at the same time. Sugar, spice, everything nice. Sugar, spice, everything nice. Ski, to use leverage on all your trades. What platform do you use? 90% of my portfolio is spot. I do leverage trades as well. I use BitUnext. There is a link in my bio if you want to support my channel. You can use that. You don't need a VPN or KYC. All you need is an email address and to send in some crypto. I've been using them for a while. I think that they are solid. So if you want to support the channel, you can use BitUnext. No KYC, no VPN required. Up to, I think it's $10,000 per day withdrawal. So you can withdraw $10,000 a day, which is $300,000 a month, which if you're clearing that trading, why are you watching me, bro? Go create content and help the world. What are you doing? So $10,000 a day, that's what you can withdraw without verifying your identity. What's up, you savage? What's up, fam? Is it me being helpful for VeChain to hit 20 cents during the summer? I think that's very plausible. Do you agree with Alex that alts will come next year? I don't think so. I think that this is going to be... there was lots of questions on, is it going to be buy in May, fly away, or is it going to be sell in May, go away? And I waited. I sat back. I was on the fence. I was like, I'm going to see how this plays out. I waited and I seen. I waited and I saw. And what I'm seeing is retail is not in this game at all. They have no interest in crypto. We know this by Google Trends. We know this by Robinhood, not even in the top 200. Coinbase, not even in the top 300. Retail is not in this game. Retail is not interested. This is great. This is fantastic news. So in my opinion, it is buy in May, fly away. This is going to be one of the most bullish summers that crypto has ever had. It's going to be hot boy summer for crypto, in my opinion. That will be on your report card. What is your bull prediction for ICP? 140 is my highest probable bull case scenario. 140. My targets are $38 low, $100 medium, 140 is my bull case. Make sure you guys drop a follow and subscribe to the channel. We go live anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. I'm going live. I am live from the wild right now. You guys know I'm outside. I'm in the wild. There's trees behind me. You can see it. There's trees. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where I'm at in this world. I'm going to be bringing content. I'm going to be bringing value to you via shorts, via live streams, via long videos. So drop a follow and subscribe, ya savages. Price target for price target for Cardano. My price target for Cardano is $2, $4, $6, $8. Low, medium, high, plus high. What coin do you recommend to buy now? I don't recommend anything. I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot give you financial advice. I can tell you what I think, what I perceive to be the highest value plays with the most upside potential and the least downside risk, but I am some guy outside. I'm not recommending anything. But my top value right now is Solnic, but I have a whole list of value plays that I like. Price target for XRP. My price target is $5, $8, $12. That, by the way, was my target at 30 cents when XRP was my second largest holding. At 30 cents, I was saying my target was $5, $8, $12. My top value plays as of the time of recording are Solnic, HNT, Rose, ICP, Shiba, Dent, VeChain, Naka, IOTA, Flux, Theta, Krill, Suki, Raven, Dynex, DOT, LCX, Sauce, Hehe, Crow, Phantom, News, One, XYO, ADA, Link, XNO, Fat Cats, and what was the other one? Arweave. I like Arweave a lot. I think Arweave looks really, really good. ZBAC is in price discovery. If you've made a position on ZBAC, I would recommend taking a little bit off the table. It's already hit my macro target. Okay? It gave us a year of this price. All right? A year at that price, and I said my first target was half of a penny. It hit that target. All right? I'm not going to act like it doing a 7x is nothing. If you've already had your position in ZBAC, I recommend taking a little bit of profit. If you do not have a position in ZBAC, I would recommend waiting for a pullback, not to add a position now. I never recommend buying price discovery, which is where ZBAC is at. This is already the 1618. This was already my macro first target. My biggest target is 1 penny. So can 1x from here? Sure. But if you don't have a position in ZBAC, I don't recommend FOMOing in now. 2 NFTs get you lifetime access to the exclusive Telegram group where I put out all my trades, my holdings, content, exclusive content, and the exclusive community, all that and more. All right. I think that's going to be it. I'm going to go have dinner with the fam. I'll be live probably around the same time tomorrow. I'll put it out. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never, ever, ever, never message you first. Those are scammers. It's not me. I love you, but it's not me. So make sure you guys drop a follow. I put out all kinds of content, 5 videos a day, 20-minute videos, 2-minute videos. I live stream almost every day, no matter where I'm at in the world. I'm in the wild live streaming right now. So drop a follow. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity. God first, God bless. I'm out.